Hello, everyone. For privacy reasons, I'll be changing names. I'm a 24-year-old woman. My boyfriend is 29, and my former friend is 23. I'll call my boyfriend Josh and my friend Sally. Sally and I went to the same secondary school and were very close back then. After we both went to university, staying in touch became difficult. I tried to keep the friendship alive, but it often felt like I was the only one making the effort. Still, I cared deeply about her. She had supported me through my first heartbreak, and I always tried to look out for her in small ways. Over time, communication faded. Her number stopped going through for months. I even got another number from a mutual friend, but that didn't work either. Eventually, on her birthday in October 2024, I tried again, and it finally connected.
Boy,
We
ain't no
talked,
way, boy.
reconnected, and started communicating regularly again. When she later returned to her hometown, she invited me over.
Why would I
During one of our
care?
phone conversations, my then situationship, Josh, commented on her voice. She asked who he was, and I told her he was my friend. At that point, Josh and I weren't officially dating, just in a situationship, and I wasn't comfortable explaining that yet. When I went to Sally's place, she asked more about him. I showed her his picture and said we were talking, but that he was my best friend. She said she wanted to meet him.
Knock on
Later that
fart!
day, we went to my place and slept over because Josh lived nearby. They met, clicked immediately, and exchanged numbers. I didn't see it as a problem at first. I had introduced her to male friends before without issues. But this time felt different. She seemed smitten. I asked her if she liked him, and she said yes, that he carried conversations well. I joked about her being a good wife for him. She laughed and said she wasn't ready for that. I also asked Josh if he liked her. He said not really, just that the vibes were good. I even told him that if he liked her, I'd step aside, but he insisted I shouldn't. A few weeks later, Josh told me he and Sally had a date planned. I said, okay. Later, I found out the date turned into them booking a hotel room and kissing. I was shocked.
Boy,
He said
ain't
it
no
just
way, boy.
happened. Sally told me she was going with the flow. A week after that, there was a plan for sex. Each of them
Knock on
claimed
fart!
the other suggested it. Josh assured me Sally knew he wasn't looking for anything serious. Against my better judgment, I went along with it and even helped plan logistics like the hotel and things she requested. I didn't really understand my feelings at the time. I think I was trying too hard to be a supportive friend. On the day it happened, I was extremely upset and asked Josh to call it off. He refused, reminding me that I'd said I was okay with it and had helped plan it. They went ahead. I was hurt, but after some time, Josh and I talked and smoothed things over. 2 weeks later, he told me he was going to Sally's house just to talk. I didn't believe that. I decided to tell Sally the truth, that Josh and I were in a situationship the whole time. She was very upset.
Boy,
I
ain't no way,
apologized
boy.
repeatedly and told her I hadn't intended for things to escalate the way they did. I initially said I wouldn't tell Josh about our conversation so she could confront him herself, but later I told him anyway. Josh said he wouldn't go to her place again, but he did, without telling me. Sally later told me they talked, he apologized, and they had sex again. What hurt more was that the day before, Sally had told me she wanted nothing to do with him anymore because he is your man, and that we couldn't be sharing a man. After a lot of arguments and emotional chaos, apologies were exchanged between all of us. Sally said she was traumatized, so I went to her house to apologize in person. I told her I liked Josh. She said she was no longer interested in him, and I thought we finally understood each other. At my family's Christmas event, I invited Sally. She initially said she couldn't come, but she surprised me by showing up with her siblings. I was genuinely happy to see her. She asked me not to tell Josh she was there because she wanted to surprise him. When Josh arrived, he was surprised, and throughout the event, Sally clung to his arm. In January 2025, Josh told me Sally invited him out again. He booked a hotel room for privacy and asked for my permission. At that point, I was emotionally exhausted and said whatever. He insisted nothing would happen and that she just wanted to talk. They met, talked, and parted calmly. Later, Sally returned to school without telling me. I found out through Josh, and that really hurt. When I confronted Sally about not telling me she was going back to school, she escalated the situation by calling me out in our shared friend group. This caused the group to take sides, and most of them chose her side. I tried to explain my perspective, but they told me that Sally had said I suggested a threesome between her, Josh, and me. For context, I had made that comment jokingly to Sally after I thought we had reconciled in 2024, as a way to make light of the awkward and painful situation, not as a serious suggestion. Despite this, the group began bashing me heavily. Feeling overwhelmed and misrepresented, I left the group chat. I even offered to bring Josh into the conversation so they could hear the full story and judge fairly, but they said they weren't interested. At that point, I dropped the matter entirely. We met again this year after I called her. She said she had thought I would bring my boyfriend along. I explained that I had not, because I was trying to rebuild our friendship, not facilitate a relationship. Between her and Josh, I told her I would not be part of that. The summary of our conversation was her wanting me to take the blame for her decisions to sleep with Josh, even after I had told her about us. Time has passed. Josh and I are now officially together, and I'm genuinely happy in my relationship. However, I lost several friendships because of this situation, including Sally and even my best friend. This whole thing has haunted me for a long time. She reached out first to me, which I saw as an olive branch. This made me reach out to her when I heard she was back in our hometown. It made me want to ask her to meet one-on-one, not to rub my relationship in her face, but to apologize sincerely and try to make peace. I know I hurt her. I know I should have been honest from the beginning. I take responsibility for that. She wasn't apologizing for anything. I was the only one doing that. One of my friends says, I'm being selfish for wanting closure because I got the man, and she lost both a friend and a situationship. I understand that perspective.